Live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week and is looking forward to a great weekend. Hi Alak. Hi Mahbooba. Caption this. Nice to see many students in the class. Hi Firdavs. Welcome everyone. In this class, we are focusing on the listening section. Specifically, we're focusing on the challenging part 3 and 4 example questions, and I will speak a little bit of strategy as well. This is continuing from yesterday's live class where we covered parts 1 and 2. So if you were here for that class, fantastic. If you missed that class, no worries. You can enjoy this class without having been in that class. Hi, Victor, Sammy, and Carolina. Welcome to more of our members as well. This lesson, these materials are presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Check us out there. For general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of these websites, we have lots and lots of materials to help you improve communication, your writing, speaking, listening, reading skills. So definitely check that out. If you have questions, just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com and I will gladly get back to you ASAP. All right, students, so we have the listening class for you today. Tomorrow we'll have a reading class for members, and then we'll have a speaking part 3 for everyone. Let's get right into the listening. Now, for this listening, we're using our first exam book. And this is our second test in our first book. And we are in section 3, or now it's called part 3, for those of you that have our materials. And I'm just going to darken up the screen a bit here so you can see some of these brighter questions a little bit clearer. So I'm going to become a silhouette, but that's okay because the questions are what's important here. Students, I'm using my microphone and a nice Bose speaker for the audio here for you today. So if it's quiet, turn up the volume or use a headset. And very importantly, please do not put answers in the chat during the listening. Wait until the end. Be nice to everyone. Let everyone answer on their own. Okay? All right. So we're going to get right into it here. I'm just going to hop over to our website, log into my student account. And in the My Student account, you have this tour. And then we have our audio CDs. And here we're getting into CD 2. We have lots and lots of audio for you to practice. Of course, on the website, it's very high quality audio when you listen directly. And here we go with a listening test 2, part 3. So just listen, visualize, and answer.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear a student and her professor talking about their class. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Come in, Laura.
Thanks a lot for making the time to see me, Professor Gorman. As I mentioned in my email, I've been very ill this past week, and missing the first week of school is not a good way to start the term.
Indeed, it's not a very good start at all, but I think you can overcome it. You had a good grade in my course last term, and I'm sure this absence is just a bump in the road as far as this term goes. Now, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I don't even have a syllabus, so maybe you could give me one and then we could go over it in some detail.
Yes, that would be sensible. Let me grab your syllabus. Here you go. As you see, the class meets each Monday and Thursday from 10 to 11:30 in room A313 of the Juliet building. Do you know where that is?
Yes, the Juliet building is right next to the Student Union building, correct?
Yes, that's right. Okay, so next are my office hours. I hold them each Monday and Wednesday from 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon. If these do not work for you, feel free to send me an email and we can make arrangements to meet at another time. Now, let's discuss the books you'll need. As you see on the syllabus, there are 2 books you'll need for this course. You need not purchase either of them, however, as there are several copies of each available in the library.
I like keeping my books for future reference, so I would prefer to buy both books. Are they available in the bookshop?
The first one is, but the second one must be purchased from Buster's Books. Do you know where Buster's Books is located?
Roughly, but do you have an address?
Yes. The address is 3419 Young Street in Brighton.
Right, I know where that is. Do you know how much the books cost, approximately?
I think the one at the university bookshop is about £20 and the one at Buster's is about £15. So that's a total of £35 for the 2 of them.
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
Great. Can we talk a little about the coursework required?
Of course. There are 2 essays, 1 midterm exam and 1 final exam.
Wow, that's a lot of coursework.
Yes, but at this level I don't believe in just having 1 essay or 1 final exam determine your entire mark in a class. I like arranging it so that a student can have a chance to reflect on their ability and understanding of materials throughout the term.
That makes sense. So, what are the percentages associated with each assignment and exam?
The first essay is worth 15%, the second is worth 25%, the midterm exam is worth 20%, and the final exam is worth 40%. Would you like to talk about the first essay? It is due next Friday.
Yes, could we?
Of course. The essay should be approximately 1,500 words and the topic must be chosen from the list.
And can I get a copy of the list?
There is one attached to your syllabus.
Right. So, do we have to tell you what topic we are writing on beforehand?
No, it's all right. You only have to notify me if you want to do a topic that is not on the list.
Right. Is the essay due in class, or can we submit it by email?
I will accept essays without penalty until midnight after the class it's due. So yes, you can submit it by email, hand it in during class or submit it to the department office. If you submit it to the office, make sure to get a timestamp put on it so that I can be sure the paper was submitted on time. And also, be sure to make...
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, use that half minute to check those answers. And now let's check them together for this part. I'm going to keep it dark because as you can see, this table is a bright color, so you wouldn't be able to see it if I brighten up the camera. So just for this table, we'll keep it dark. And I shall be the silhouette teacher. All right, let's do this together. So this is section 3. Section 3 is often a dialogue, so it's a conversation between 2 or more people. Okay, and here we go. Let's do this. All right. So choose the correct letter A, B, or C. Number 21. Why does the student go to see the professor? Is it A, she has been in the hospital, B, she has been ill, or C, she registered late? A, B, or C? Some of you are saying the screen is not clear, but for me it's quite clear. If anybody has that situation, let me know. Or maybe I'll brighten it a slight bit. But For me, it seems clear on my feedback screen. Let me know. It seems like a lot of you are seeing it. Yeah, the correct answer here was B. This one was fairly straightforward. She says, I've been ill. Careful not to choose A. She doesn't say that she was in the hospital. She just says she was ill. Okay. Irma says it's vivid. All right. Okay, yeah, so B is good. So that was a multiple choice. Again, with multiple choice, listen for the answer. Okay, so she goes to the office because she says she's been ill for the past couple of weeks and she's starting late. Okay, good. Now this table, let me see if you can see this clearly. Hopefully you can. Okay, yeah, that looks clear on my end. All right, class times. There's class 2 days a week. Something and Thursday, 10 to 10:30. All right, Monday is correct. All you really need to do for your answer sheet for 22 is just write MON, like that, M-O-N, okay? They will mark that correct for Monday. You can use abbreviations on the IELTS exam. It is accepted to use abbreviations, Monday, M-O-N, okay? So they will take that. That's your fastest answer and your most accurate answer. Okay. All right. Location. So where is this class? They say the name of the building 2 times. Now in part 3, you can be expected to spell common names in English. In fact, this is more of a French word here, but used in English as well. Catherine says it's the Juliet. Yeah. That's right. Simran, Ali, all have the same answers. Yeah, it's the Juliet, not Julian, Juliet. Okay. If you were to use the French spelling, like that, they would mark that correct. Okay. Both of these spellings are accepted. English is a phonetic language. You have to learn, it's a non-phonetic language, so you have to learn phonetics to spell correctly. Okay. All right. So class times are Monday and Thursday. So then what's on Monday and Wednesday? This is for question 24. So Monday and Wednesday, what's happening then? Yeah, this was a tricky one. Careful, Nadia. It was office hours. Moria, you're correct. Yeah, office hours. Plural is important here. So remember, it is part 3. So it's a little bit more tricky than it might seem. It's office hours, and it's S. Hours is countable, and you have 1, 2 sets of hours. So this professor has 2 times 90 minutes of visitation by students. So it's called office hours. If you write office hour, there's a good chance they'll mark that wrong. Okay, so you need the S to get it right. Okay, careful about that. Okay, yeah, so filling out tables in part 3 is not quite as straightforward as in parts 1 and 2. It's a bit more challenging. You really have to pay attention to the details in the columns and the rows, and that's kind of a general tip for parts 3 and 4, these more challenging sections, that you have to definitely pay more attention to detail in part 3 and 4 than in part 1 and 2. Okay. All right. The required books, it means the books needed for this course. Book 1 is available at the bookshop, costs how much? So how many pounds? 25 is 20, yeah. It's 20 pounds. I believe that's correct. Yeah, because the 2 books together cost 35. Remember when the professor or the woman says, oh yeah, so it's 35 total. So if you miss them saying 20 pounds here, you don't need the pounds because they give you the symbol. So all you need is the number 20. But if you missed, they said 20, so I can't remember which one of them says 20, but one of them says it's 20 pounds, and then one of them also says, oh, it's 35 pounds total for the 2 books. Now you have 15 here, so if you don't catch the 20 pounds, and you catch the 35 total, then later you can figure out that, oh yeah, okay, if it's 35 total, then it's 3515 minus will equal 20. So there's kind of a second chance there, okay? So if you're really, really careful, then you can catch these little tips that help, okay? So pay attention to those, all right? Sometimes you have to do this kind of simple math. Okay, so the correct answer there was 20, okay? Now, book 2 available at. So this is going to be a noun. It's going to be a location, okay? And it's going to be capital. Notice the big B there, right? Sammy says it's Buster's books. Yeah, Buster's books. Buster's books, that's okay. If you had an apostrophe to show possessive, Buster's books, that's okay too. It's Buster's. I think they say it about 2 or 3 times. They say Buster's books, the second book, Buster's books. Where is Buster's books? Buster's books is, okay, so they say it a few times, so definitely pay attention and catch those. Buster's books. Okay, when the answer is kind of challenging, like a name, like Buster's books, or for this previous one, the Juliet building, they usually say it twice. So even if you're not familiar with the word, you should be able to spell it. Juliet, Juliet. If you know the sound of English letters, then you know how to spell it. Okay, practice your spelling. All right, now we had a little break after Buster's books. Then we had a chance to look at 27 to 40, to 30. Coursework. So the course is divided into several components for the grade. There's the first essay, it's 15%. The second essay is something percent. Hopefully everybody got this one correct. 25%. Okay. 40, 20, 25, 15 equals 100%, right? Logic. Okay. So even if you missed it, just do some simple math. 40, 60, 75, that has to be 25. It makes sense. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Makabuba. So sometimes the IELTS is not just testing your English, but it's testing, hey, are you paying attention to the information we're giving you? Okay. And then number 28. Okay, so never panic. Always keep cool and pay attention. 28 is final exam, yeah. And both words are needed. Okay, final is not enough. Exam is not enough. You need final exam. Midterm exam, final exam. Okay, final what? Final paper, final essay? No, final exam. Very good, Carolina. Nicely done. All right, so that is part 3. And again, a little bit more challenging for sure than part 2. You have to pay attention to those details, okay? Sometimes students just write the word final there, and that's not enough. So make sure that you have the details, okay? All right, let's take a look at the last couple of questions. Number 29, how long should the first assignment be? They say this quite clearly. Okay, I can brighten up our day a little bit more here now that we're done with that table. There, now it's a little bit brighter, okay? All right. Okay, how long should the first essay be approximately? Verma Coding says 1,500 words, yeah. No more than 2 words and or a number. 1,500 words. Here, you have to have both to get it correct. Why? So if you write 1,500 only, most likely this will be marked wrong. Why is that? Can anybody tell me why you need both 1,500 and words to make sure that you get this correct? Makbuba, no, you shouldn't put words in brackets. Okay, be confident that the word is needed or don't use it. Don't bracket words in your answers, okay? Yeah, so Flexi says to specify words because it doesn't say words in the question, right? So 1,500 what? 1,500 pages, characters, sentences, paragraphs. We don't know, right? So 1,500 words, okay? So we need that specification. Now, if the question says how many words should the first assignment be approximately, then 1,500 would be okay with that as part of the question. So again, details are really important. Pay careful attention, and you can catch these during that 30-second review time and during the time when you're transferring your answers to the answer sheet. So this usually gives you a hint, 2 words and or a number, okay? Reread the question if it's short like this. Okay, is that clear? Bahadur Disco, this is a live video, yeah. So you need 1,500 words. Yeah, you could write both in this case, Lily, if it says 2 words, but if it says 1 word with this, then you would, and or a number, then you would only write 1,500, right? So pay really careful attention to details. This is where IELTS, it's really testing you on a lot of levels, okay? It's not just basic English. Again, remember that IELTS is not an ESL exam, it's an English proficiency exam, which means it's testing how well you use English. Okay, right? Shub Shirat, it's words with an S because words are countable. It has to be 1,500 words. Okay, all right. Okay, number 30 is an inference type question. That means you have to listen to what they're saying, understand it clearly, and based on the information that they say, you have to figure out what the correct answer is. So the student's class ends at 11:30, and this is why it's the last question, because students usually answer this question going into that 30-second review time. So here you have to imagine that the student's class ends at 11:30 a.m. on the day the paper is due. Decide whether a paper handed in is on time or late. Okay, write A or B. So this is inference. You have to figure it out from the information. The student receives a late penalty. A is the answer, or B, the essay is on time and there's no penalty. Okay. The paper is handed in at 5 p.m. the same day, dropped off at the department office with no timestamp received. Okay. So class ends at 11:30. The paper's handed in at 5, so it's 5.5 hours later at the office with no timestamp. The professor clearly says, make sure to get a stamp so I know that it's handed in on time and so you don't get a late penalty. That means no stamp, you get a late penalty. Okay? So the correct answer is A. Okay? The professor says if there's no stamp, you get a late penalty if it's handed in the office after class because they need to know. Now, by the way, for those of you who are going to study your bachelor's degrees in the US, UK, Australia, this is standard practice, okay? If you're handing in, I mean, most papers these days you're submitting electronically and there's a digital timestamp, but in case where you are handing in a paper-based essay, and that does happen for certain types of situations, then they will ask. So there's still this tradition of getting that timestamp. Okay. All right. Marizan, how can you find the answers if the listening recording was not played? You can find it on our websites, in your books, okay, and in the transcripts. All right. Okay. Cool. For those of you who are just joining right now, no worries. We still have listening part 4 coming up right now. Okay, so count up your answers, your correct answers, save them, and then we'll take a look at your totals at the end, okay? All right. So here we go with the last set of questions into part 4. Everybody get ready. I can keep the screen a bit brighter this time because we don't have a bright table in this. And again, this audio material with 6 other exams, it's on the websites, aehelp.com and glshelp.com. Here we go, everyone. Let me get the audio going for you. Please do not put answers in the chat. Wait until the end. That makes it fair for everyone. Okay, here we go.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a lecture about the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good evening, class. If you are registered for Anthropology 322, you are in the right place. Today we will be talking about the most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex as it is commonly referred to. This dinosaur has a fearsome reputation, mainly due to popular culture films and books. In this class, we will be discussing the facts regarding the Tyrannosaurus rex, as opposed to its Hollywood depiction. Tyrannosaurus rex lived from approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time: a massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the Late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals, which often cast the T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, T-Rex did not come to be until 65 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. Tyrannosaurus rex was a meat-eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey or if it merely scavenged the prey of other dinosaurs. In our minds, we imagine T-Rex fighting to the death with other dinosaurs, but it is not known for sure whether this is the truth. Tyrannosaurus rex was a large dinosaur. Not nearly the largest, mind you, but still large by any standards of modern-day wildlife. The dinosaur's length was approximately 12 metres, its height could reach 6 metres, and it weighed anywhere between 5 and 7 tonnes. That weight is the equivalent of about 80 average-sized human beings. If humans had been around back then, we would have been the perfect size for an afternoon snack. The location of T-Rex fossils discovered is very interesting. They have been found in western North America, as far south as Texas and as far north as Alberta, and they have also been found in eastern Asia, mainly in Mongolia. How is this possible? How can fossils be found in such different regions of the world? The answer is what geologists call continental drift. The continents have not always been in the same location. They have shifted, and around the time of T-Rex, western North America and eastern Asia were connected. This explains perfectly the discovery of the fossils in the different locations. One of the more well-known interesting facts about Tyrannosaurus rex is that it had extremely short arms. They measured only about 1 metre long, which is very short when you consider the size of the dinosaur. To put such small arms in perspective, it would be as if humans had arms that measured only 10 centimetres. What use would they be? Well, that is one of the questions that has led scientists to believe that T-Rex was a scavenger and not a predator. It is very difficult to believe that it could have been an effective predator, with arms being so important for hunting. Another fact that leads scientists to believe T-Rex was a scavenger was its extremely strong sense of smell. This enabled T-Rex to smell carcasses over long distances, giving it a big advantage as a scavenger. On the other side of the argument, T-Rex had very large serrated teeth, which would have been perfect for tearing through the tough skin of other dinosaurs. If T-Rex was a pure scavenger, it may not have required such teeth. Another interesting point about their teeth was that they were replaceable over time. Unlike humans, who grow only 2 sets in a lifetime, T-Rex's teeth could be replaced over and over throughout a lifetime. Again, this is evidence that they were, at least in part, likely predatory.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, so that's the end of section 4, or part 4, as they say now. Let's go through the answers together. Let's see how you did. Okay, so interesting topic about the famous dinosaur T-Rex. I think it's a lucky one if you get this, because I think most of us have some information and good visualization about this topic, which certainly helps. Let's do this. So this first one is kind of this interesting matching the information. Again, it's somewhat requiring you to understand multiple parts. So you really have to pay attention here to the 65 million years ago events. Number 1, the dinosaurs became extinct. Number 2, Tyrannosaurus rex came into existence. 3, Tyrannosaurus rex died out. 4, a large asteroid hit the Earth. So is it A, 1 and 3, B, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which means all of them, or is it C, 1, 3, and 4? All right, many of you are answering C, and you're correct. Now, if I miss this information, how else can I figure this out? Well, one important piece that they said here is that the T-Rex came into existence a little bit earlier. I mean, T-Rex was around for quite some time, a lot longer than humans. When did T-Rex come into existence? Let's see how many of you were actively listening, not just catching the exact answer, but catching all of the information. So when did T-Rex come into existence? Arwin, very good. Arwin says 85 million years ago. That means that T-Rex was around for about 20 million years. Wow, good job, T-Rex. We've got some catching up to do. T-Rex was around a lot longer than humans. So 20 million years. Yeah, so that's when T-Rex came into existence. So 2 cannot be a part of the answer, so 1, 3, and 4, C. Now, 1, 3, and 4 make sense. So dinosaurs became extinct. Tyrannosaurus rex is a dinosaur. Of course, then, Tyrannosaurus rex died out. Why did the dinosaurs become extinct and T-Rex die? Because a large asteroid hit the Earth. So it makes sense that we have those 3 together. Okay? All right? Clear? So again, logic is your friend. Logic can really help you to pick up some points and some band scores in the listening section. So make sure to use logic. Now, the only way to do that, of course, is to stay calm. Okay, stay calm. All right? So the correct answer there was C. Okay, Tyrannosaurus rex lived during which time? A, Jurassic, B, late Cretaceous, or C, late Triassic? Yeah, 32 is B, late Cretaceous period. Hollywood movies lie to us. This kind of goes back, members, to our previous class about believing, you know, a lot of what we see on TV. Hollywood movies tell us that T-Rex lived in which time? Did anybody catch that? So let's check your active listening. So 32, the correct answer is B. Okay, and Hollywood movies give us an incorrect answer. Yeah, Jurassic, exactly. Moira says because it sounds fancy. That's right. Yeah, Jurassic Park sounds a lot better than the late Cretaceous Park. Hey, I'm going to see a new movie with my friends on the weekend. Awesome. What is it called? It's called The Late Cretaceous Park. Sorry, what? Late Cretaceous Park? Oh, that doesn't sound like a good movie. But if you say Jurassic Park, then they're like, ooh, I see. Okay, so yeah, ulterior motives. Remember, members? Ulterior motives, right? The ulterior motive is getting you to go to see the movie because it sounds exciting. Okay, so number 33. How tall was Tyrannosaurus Rex? How tall was T-Rex? 12 meters, 6 meters, 7 meters. Correct answer is B, 6 meters. Okay, tall is this way, right? 6 meters. Okay, how long? This way was 12. Okay, why? Because T-Rex kind of looks like Godzilla. But anyway, I'm just drawing it over this line here. Had a very long tail, of course, right? To have that little height. So he was 6 meters tall, 12 meters long, so much longer than taller, which makes sense, right? Okay, so 6 meters tall, 12 meters long. Walked on 2 feet, kind of like a chicken. Okay, all right, here we go. Number 34, the theory which explains why fossils are found in very different regions of the world is called what? Sammy says it's called continental drift. That's right. Yeah, the drifting of the continents. Very good. Continental drift. Okay. It is a common noun, so you can write it as small c, small d. Because they're using the word called here, if you write continental drift with capitals, it can be okay in this case because they're naming it with is called. All right, so it's kind of an interesting one where both upper and lowercase, but to be safe, you could just write it all uppercase. Now, make sure that your spelling is correct and only do that when you're transferring the answer to the answer sheet. Otherwise, you'll miss the next questions because it's going to take you so long to write it. All capitals, that's why I gave up. Okay, so continental drift. Okay, and then here we had a table. Pay careful attention to the title of the table, okay? Tyrannosaurus Rex. Is it a predator or a scavenger? Okay, predator means it's hunting the food. Scavenger means it's finding its food, which is already dead. Okay. So here we go. The column headings: evidence, implication, conclusion. Pay attention to that. Extremely something arms. Yeah, short, right? I mean, all of us who've seen a picture or two of T-Rex, that's one of the funny features. It's got these little hands, right? We're definitely not scared of T-Rex's little arms, although they'd still be pretty big for us, but we're, I think, much more scared of its big teeth, right? So extremely short arms. Arms are important for hunting, so we think. So 36, if they're important for hunting and the arms are short, it makes sense that it's a scavenger. And you have the word here, so make sure you get this correct, okay? It's just a copy-paste in this case, all right? Scavenger. Strong sense of smell, able to detect carcasses from long. Number 37. It can detect Shvetab Tyagi. Says distances. Very good. Yeah, distances it is. Distances. Excellent. S is needed there. It's plural. You can actually count distance. 1 distance, 2 distance, 3 distance. It's distances. Okay. Large serrated teeth, able to tear through tough. Makes sense. This should be fairly intuitive. Able to tear through tough skin. Good job on the answers so far. A lot of you are getting them correct. Good job, Carolina. Nice job, Sammy. Not skins, Aurora, just skin. Okay, we generally don't count skin interestingly enough. You can, but we generally don't. So able to tear through tough skin. If it can tear through tough skin, which means it's living tissue, dead skin is a little bit softer, especially after a while. So if it's able to tear through tough skin, then it means maybe it's not a scavenger, but it could be a predator. Okay, and there's the word. So again, do not get it wrong. Okay, for science fiction movie lovers, Predator is the name of a pretty famous trilogy or quadrology or something now. Okay, and then last question, number 40. It had some kind of teeth. There was something interesting about the T-Rex's teeth. Unlike humans, not just a couple sets, but the teeth kept going back at time and time again. So it did not have to be careful with its teeth. It had replaceable teeth, yeah. Very good. Yeah. Replaceable teeth. Yeah. Replaceable teeth. Very nice. Very, very nice. So that's listening part 4. Sometimes the topics are a little bit more friendly, like this one. Sometimes they're more challenging. Be ready for any topic in part 4. Practice lots of different exams before you sit your official test. Students, add up your scores, your total, and what I can do is I can, on our website, let me just darken the screen a little bit here so that you can see this. On our websites, both of them, ahelp.com and gieltshelp.com, you have these what's called score calculators at the bottom of the website. Okay, I just clicked on it. And then you can figure out what you got. So from your raw score to the actual band score. So Nick Hill says that the score is 35 out of 40. Okay, so this top one's showing the listening. So Nick Hill, 35 would be a band 8. Okay, and if you're thinking about the European English proficiency standard, a band 8 is a level C1. Okay, all right. Okay, Mahbuba says 31. Mahbuba, 31 is a band 7, and that would be considered B2 for CRF. Some of you are thinking about that, okay? All right. Vermicoding, 32. That's 7.5. Very nice. Nishant, 33. So just like that, it's still 7.5. Georgie, band 9 is considered, I think, a C2. C1 for band 8, I believe. I'd have to double check that, but I'm almost certain because band 9 is the highest for IELTS. C2 is the highest for CRF, I believe. Okay, you can check that online. All right, Siam says 28. There we go, 28 is a 6.5. I'm not sure about the half bands, how they work, but you can check that out. Okay, Kasam says 30. 30 is a 7. I think that's where they start. Very good. Okay, all right. Kishan, 38 is going to be an 8.5. It's one away from a 9. Okay, so band 9 is just 2 marks, for those of you wondering. Band 9 is either 39 or 40. So to get a band 9, you can only have 1 wrong in the entire listening section, and that's the same for reading as well. Okay. Shubha Shira, we have 1 free exam on our websites for general IELTS and for academic. The other 5 you have to pay for, of course. We have to feed our families, just like you. Okay. And do remember, students, that if you're not buying a product online, you are the product. Okay? Oftentimes, that's more expensive these days than if you're just spending a few dollars. You can join our full course anytime you see that big red button. For the general IELTS, same thing. We have the score calculator there too, and lots of other goodies. You can click that big red button to join us there. Tomorrow, I will be back with more live classes. These live classes are free. Tomorrow's members class will be focusing on reading, and the listening class, the all chat class will be focusing on speaking part 3. Okay, that's it for today. Definitely check us out at aehelp.com, glshelp.com. Social Dilemma mentions that as well. It's a good movie to watch, so watch that Social Dilemma movie on Netflix. I saw that, absolutely. All right, have a fantastic rest of your day. Much love to all of you wherever you are in the world. Keep up the good studies. You're all brilliant, beautiful people. Remember that. I'm Adrian, and I'm signing out from Budapest for now. See you tomorrow. Bye.